I'm officially 37 weeks pregnant yesterday, and there's just so much going on around here. So I thought we could do a little get ready with me, little chit chat, catch up, and talk about all the things that are happening and just do a little 37-week pregnancy update. Cheers. So the symptoms are definitely ramping up. There have definitely been a few times where I've been like, okay, am I going into labor? A few of those things that have been happening are contractions. I'll get like two like pretty strong contractions back to back, and I'm like, okay, my contractions are about to be starting, and then I don't get them for another day or two. I've had so much pelvic pain, like it's actually been crazy. Plus, if you don't know, I'm a kindergarten teacher, and so I'm really up on my feet a lot. It just feels like there's literally a bowling ball like trying to get out of me. I'm also starting to go to the bathroom during the night way more. It still kind of depends on the night, but most of the time I'm getting up like 3 to 5 times now, where it was like 1 to 3 before. I'm also just kind of like feeling bad overall, especially by the time I get back from work. I kind of feel like I'm in my first trimester again because my energy is just like so low. I think I just like exerted all at work. Yesterday was Saturday and I did literally nothing all day. I did fold 1 load of laundry, but other than that, I watched TV, I laid around, and I took a almost 4-hour nap. So I can tell my body is exhausted. At my appointment last week, my blood pressure was a little elevated. She said it wasn't like high enough to be concerning, but it was a little elevated for me. And so she said that because I have gestational diabetes, that if it's high again this coming week at my appointment, that they're gonna look at inducing me in the next like week after that, which induction wasn't in my plan, but also I'm gonna listen to the doctors because I did not go to medical school. And so if she says that that's what's best for me and baby, then that's what we will be looking at. I'm definitely having like mixed emotions about all of it because part of me would love to not be pregnant anymore and to have my baby here in my arms. But the other part of me wants to just let him do his thing and come naturally. And also, if you don't know, I'm due 3 days after the last day of school and I'm not going back to teaching. So part of me would just like really like to have the closure of kind of like tying a bow on the end of this year and getting to like be there on the last day with my kids. And if he comes early, then I obviously will not be able to do that. So I'm just having a lot of like mixed emotions about what I do or don't want to happen. But at the end of the day, it's out of my control anyway. We'll just see what happens at this next week's appointment. I'm also so ready to not have to deal with the gestational diabetes anymore. It is just getting like harder and harder to keep up. I do good with breakfast and lunch, but dinner, I have no energy to cook, and my blood sugar is always the worst at dinner. Going back to school, this is like another big one of my stressors right now. Because I'm not coming back, I'm trying to clear out my classroom, I'm trying to purge it, I'm trying to like take things home that I'm saving. And you also don't want to like completely strip your classroom and make your kids feel like they're in a jail cell at the end of the year. But you also just like don't know when you're gonna go into labor or when he's gonna be here. And so you want to be prepared as you can. Even if you take away all the like crazy classroom clean out stuff that I have going on, it's also just hard emotionally. I love teaching. I love my school. I went to school at the school that I teach at. I love the people that I work with. Some of the people that I work with, I have known since I was a little girl. And I feel like I haven't even fully processed it because I'm like processing so much of the pregnancy and baby things. So like school kind of becomes an afterthought. But when I have thought about it, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so sad. So anyway, that's a whole can of worms, and school is definitely kind of a huge stressor right now, even on top of the baby things that are already stressful. The good news is like our house is pretty much ready for baby. His room is ready, all the things. The last thing that I have to touch on, and I kind of hesitate to even share this because it's gonna make me sound literally psycho, but I love sharing my life on here, and so I'm gonna loop you guys in. Our house is actually for sale. Long story short, for the job that I'm gonna be doing since I'm not going back to teaching, I'm gonna be working with family in their family business, and I kind of have to be where they are, which is fine because our plan was actually always to move back to this place, and it's only about an hour from where we live now. But basically, there's a perfect house situation where we're getting a really good price, really good deal. The people that are selling the house are family friends of my husband's family, and they are moving like ASAP. And so they kind of have to know pretty quickly if we're gonna move into their place or not. But it's a house that we can grow into. It has a lot of things that we really like. It's in a location we like, it's in a neighborhood we like. And so it kind of feels like the perfect place for our next move if we are going to move. And we wouldn't get everything that this house has to offer for this price again. So basically we kind of are just leaving it up to the Lord in a sense. I basically told my husband that I do not want to be having to like get out of the house for showings and stuff with a newborn. I said that we can list the house until he's born. And if it sells before he's born, great. And if it doesn't, then we're gonna take it off the market and we'll know that that house wasn't where we were supposed to be. We will find another house in the future when the timing makes more sense. I feel crazy doing this and I honestly have like cried about it, been super anxious about it, prayed about it. And I think part of that is because I also have just like the new mom thing and all the school things going on. But my husband has been amazing and has like fully taken charge of all the house things. He has really tried to take that off my plate, which I so appreciate. I was talking to a friend about this the other day and I was like, I feel crazy. Like, why would I do this? And she was like, you know, Kendon, sometimes a season of stress is worth the long-term gain. And I was like, that is so true. And I love that. So I've just been like really speaking that over myself and reminding myself like, okay, will it be stressful at first? Yes, for sure. I can do anything for a short amount of time. The only thing that scares me is that like, I really don't know how I'm gonna handle postpartum, but at the same time, I don't wanna look back with regrets. So I think that's part of why we're just going ahead and listing our house, because we're like, if it sells, it sells. If it doesn't, it doesn't, which weirdly gives me more peace that it's out of my hands because we're kind of just gonna let God do what he wants to do. Anyway, if you stuck around that long, you're amazing because that was a lot of talking, but there's just a lot going on. And if you're seeing me on here less, that's probably why. I just feel like I'm just keeping my head above water and just trying to make sure we have as many ducks in a row as we can. I'm actually about to get out of the house right now because we have a showing in about an hour. So I'm gonna get out of here, but I love you guys so much and I hope you guys have a great week. Bye.